What's going on, guys? What's going on? What is good? Give me one second. What's going on, guys? Trying to get the link posted. What's going on, guys? Good evening. Good evening. Welcome in. We are back. 9 p.m. stream. Everybody's favorite. What's going on, guys? Been waiting all day for the stream. Victor, what's going on, man? Good to see you guys. What's going on? Good evening. Juan, good to see you guys. Did everybody get the YouTube notification? Yo, thank you for these Sunday streams. Trippy Mike, you're welcome, man. What's going on, guys? You guys get the YouTube? Okay, cool. I just want to make sure that YouTube notification went out. I don't know why, but I feel like sometimes I don't get it, and then I don't know. Just weird. What's going on, guys? What's going on? Dane, what's going on? Good to see you, man. Everybody's sound good. Should be good. Make sure you only have one window open, too. Cozy, what's going on? Brian, what's going on? Life of Omid, what's going on? Watching a little Red Sox, Yankees, getting ready for the week ahead. Crazy week upcoming. Getting back in the room for my Father's Day present. Can't wait. Oh, that's sick. No Shirt Nell, welcome back. Sweet, man. Getting the link posted in the Discord for everybody as well. Give me 1 second, guys. I get the link posted on IG too. If you guys want to follow me on IG, it's just Man's Trades. I don't use IG enough. I need to use it more. What's going on, guys? Welcome in, everybody. Going to give everybody a few minutes to kind of get welcomed in. If this is your first time joining us, or if you're just joining us at all, feel free to hit that like button, guys. That is the huge thing. We're going to try to hit a new record tonight on the stream, and I would love to have your support with that like button. It takes like 2 seconds to slam it. I think previous high was like 200. I would love to just absolutely murder that tonight and get new all-time highs. So what's going on, guys? Welcome in. Going to give everybody a couple minutes to kind of get in the chat, guys. Get kind of situated. What's going on, guys? Getting the link posted for everybody. Going to give everyone a couple minutes to get in. Welcome into the Sunday Night Scan live stream. Yes, indeed. We are back. We are back. We are back. Link has been posted. What's going on, guys? Welcome in. Eagle Trades. What's going on? Good to see you, man. Super Carl. Sup, nerds? Let's have an awesome week, man. It's absolutely crazy. Last night in Man's office, blow the record. Yeah, we got to blow the record. This is going to be my last stream inside this room. Probably the last public stream. Maybe I'll do one more, but I got to make sure that's in focus. There we go. Cool. Yeah, you guys have there's so many moving parts here. It's like just crazy. What's going on, guys? Futures are green. Yep. Crypto's making new lows. I don't think it's a precursor to the NASDAQ. No, I think that crypto space is in turmoil right now. What's going on, guys? Jet Money, man. It's good to see everybody. I'm going to give everyone just a couple minutes to get in, guys. Like I said, going to try to break a new record tonight on the stream. If you guys just take those 2 seconds, hit that like button for me. It is a huge help. If you enjoy these streams and you want to keep seeing more of them, please, like I said, guys, just take 2 seconds, hit that like button as soon as you get in here. And it really helps out the stream a ton, and it helps us continue to do these streams. And like I said, I think they really have kind of benefit everybody. So that's a big one. Been watching your streams from day one. Remember the apartment. Yep, that's definitely a thing. Do you trade futures? No, I do not trade futures. I do. I think futures trading is really hot right now. It's just personally, I like the ability to trade individual names, right? And like outside of S&P, Qs, IWM, right? So like NQ futures would be the Qs, and then ES futures. Like I said, I just personally like the ability to trade individual names. What's going on, guys? What's going on? Man's on this alert, brother. Congratulations on your new office. Thanks, man. I'm pumped about that. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, guys? Make sure you guys utilize the live chat. As long as, like I said, you ask questions in there, I'll do my best to answer them. One thing is I'm going to try to steer away from chart requests tonight, guys. Some streams I'll try to do more chart requests. This is going to be a bit more specific of a stream. We've given everyone about 5 minutes to get in. And so I'm going to kind of get started here. First off, if you are new and this is your first time watching the stream, first off, welcome. I can't thank you enough for tuning in. This is the Sunday night live stream scan. This is where I'm going to walk through a little bit of insight into my personal game plan for the week ahead. Before we get started, I do want to obviously put the disclaimer out there, guys. Nothing that I'm talking about on the stream should be constituted as financial advice. Please make sure before you watch this stream, you read the disclaimer that is in the description. This is going to be my personal game plan for the week ahead. I'm just personally walking you through exactly what I'm looking at and why. And this is going to really just go over my plan, to some detail, right? We do another version of this that's recorded, that's more in-depth and specific inside the Patreon, in addition to subscriber exclusive streams and live trading every single day. So if you guys would like a Patreon spot, those are going to close tomorrow night. So if you would like an invite to the Patreon, you can shoot me a DM on Twitter with the word June. There's so many benefits inside the room. Like I said, we stream like this every single morning before the market opens, do the same kind of in-depth go over of the setups that I'm going to be watching and why. And like I said, we live trade every morning, and so it's a lot of fun in there. So if you'd like an invite, you can shoot me a DM with the word June on Twitter, and I'll shoot you the invite. Sign-ups close tomorrow. So yeah, cheers to the new office. Appreciate that, guys. All right, so welcome in. We got the kind of, disclaimer stuff out of the way. We got the, like I said, all that stuff, all that good stuff out of the way. So now we can actually have some fun. We'll throw the glasses on. We have to do it, right? Sunday night stream, got to have these on for at least 4 to 5 minutes. Really kind of get the vibes up, really get the market kind of rolling, right? This is going to power us to some 1,000% gains this week. I'm just kidding. But like I said, we got the housekeeping items out of the way. So let's kind of get into things, right? First off, I want to really definitely mention something that is big. You guys maybe saw my video about it earlier. Before I go over any of these setups, guys, I want to emphasize we had an absolutely insane week last week, at least in the room, and really throughout the market. There were so many fantastic moves, right? Like we saw squeeze on Carvana, UPST, et cetera, et cetera. And there's just so many good moves, so much crazy range outside of the S&P 500, right? And you may say, well, Mans, why do you have SPY up? Well, I have SPY up primarily to talk about the fact that I have not been trading the indices as of late, right? Look how tight of a range the S&P is, right? We're in a really kind of extended compression stage on the daily, right? We've had 5 days inside this range now. I personally like to steer away from really tight ranges like that. With short-term options, personally, I want to be trading expansion moves, right? I want that higher level of volatility. And obviously, those parabolic moves are great, right? So crazy week last week. This week, we have an insane macro week ahead of us, right? We have FOMC, we have CPI, and we have OPEX, guys. That's the cardinal three right there, right? What does that tell me? Well, after an insane week, personally, I had a really outlier week, right? It's not normal, but like I said, those great weeks come. You're going to have 4 or 5 of them every year. And the goal for me is to go into risk management mode, right? And really be protecting my gains. So before I even start talking about what I'm going to look at this week, I want to emphasize that, at least for my system, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be sized down this week, and it's going to be about capital preservation and only taking advantage of the best, right? A+. It has to be A+, right? So really going to be picky about the setups I'm trading, and it's one of the hardest things to do. So I wanted to touch on that before we kind of get into things. So what's going on, guys? Welcome in. If you're just joining us, guys, really appreciate you guys joining the stream. We're going to try to hit a new record tonight on the stream likes. So if you haven't already, guys, make sure you hit that like button. It takes 2 seconds. We're going to try to hit that new all-time record tonight. So, and like I said, really appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, it means the world to me personally. So like I said, guys, as I'm talking about setups, if you guys have questions, don't forget to utilize the live chat. Obviously, you guys can ask me questions. I'm going to do my best to be in the live chat trying to answer those questions throughout the stream. So even if I'm mid going through a setup, you have a question, I'll do my best to answer it. So we're going to kind of do like a rolling Q&A style where we can kind of dig into stuff and, I'll answer the best of my ability, talk about my previous experience with things and do my best. Right. So, like I said, guys, where I kind of want to start is the S&P, right? I said it, I'm not going to go over it because I personally have not been trading it, right? I've been, trading the higher beta stuff, right? The ARC names have been super hot. IWM has been, the ETF that's really seen the moves lately, right? I mean, this has just been a really clean setup on IWM. We talked about this last week on the stream, right? And so I've been trading some of those names, this is the, obviously small mid-cap ETF, right? And these have been providing just fantastic moves. You really cannot beat it. And I've talked about this a ton, right? But again, you have to kind of, as an options trader, in my opinion, be in search of that volatility, right? And so IWM has been a crazy clean trader. I've been looking at IWM more than I have the S&P lately. And that's just because where the moves are right now. That may change in the future. That may change this week. That may change Wednesday or Thursday. Who knows, right? But until it changes, that's where my eyes are going to be, right? ARKK as well. ARK has seen just a fantastic move as of late. A little bit of a toppy candle on Friday. And that's where we're going to start, right? Because the growth names have been super hot. There's been so many moves. It's really just been absolutely insane. Like I said, Carvana was absolutely wild last week. Book was on it super early. I took advantage of it on Thursday, UPST, etc. And so this has been an important one, right? And I think that it's going to be really important to see how ARK deals with this daily candle, because it's kind of got that double toppy look maybe, right, where we failed to make the new high. Is the trend being threatened, or is it a pullback, right? A cool off. So the hourly, I think, the 4 hour here is going to be very important. If you're in the live chat, who remembers the 4 hour chart that I went over last week on UPST, right? Anybody remember it? You can let me know in the live chat. If you were in the stream last week, I mean, who found value in the stream last week? Let's talk about that. I mean, I did a damn quiz about that 4 hour trend line, right? I mean, we talked about that for a while. A lot. That 4 hour trend line was slammed. And I gave the specific levels I was looking at. I said why I was looking at those levels. And, like I said, that paid crazy. Like, I can't tell you how many times I've played that trend line. I think I've played it every time it's bounced off that. And it's been every single time has been fantastic. And that's why trend lines work, right? That's the human psychology aspect, guys. So it's really important to understand that, as long as, buyers keep coming in and trend line buyers keep getting rewarded, it's going to hold, right? And so ARK has a similar 4 hour setup, right? And I've talked about this time frame. This is one of the time frames that I have been utilizing so much as of late. And I talk about it all the time, guys, but I can't do the 1 minute stuff really anymore. Like, I love the 5 minute, the 15 minute, right? And really the 15 minute is my golden time frame. And I love the hourly and the 4 hour, right? Those are the 4 time frames that I really use. 5 and 15 minute are intraday. Sometimes I even use hourly candle closes intraday for entries. And the 4 hours is that broader scope, right? So we talk about higher time frames a lot. And if you're taking notes, guys, I would really try to utilize the 4 hour trend more. Okay, a great example of this was the UPST 4 hour, right, from last week, okay? We talked about this trend line, again, countless times, okay? And so you're kind of like, well, what kind of, really caused this move on UPST, right? Okay, well, let's clear all the levels, right? Well, let's talk about where this 4 hour trend line is coming from. This is coming from all-time lows, which were not that far away. That was on May 3rd, guys. So this has pretty much been entrenched for about a month, right? And we have just had this kind of clean 4 hour uptrend, right, all throughout. And we've just bounced every single time we've tested it. We've gotten bounce new highs, right? It kind of looks like a staircase, right? Sideways action, make a new high. Sideways, new highs. Up, sideways, new highs. Sideways, new highs, right? Sideways, trend line bounce, new highs. Okay, it's a staircase pattern for a reason, right? And I really think that it's important to identify bull market structure. And that's what bull market structure looks like on a 4 hour time frame, in my opinion. Okay, is that sideways, new high. Sideways, new high. And you have to be able to take advantage of it. And you want to be buying that, right? Compression before new highs, right? And I think that's really crucial, guys. The reason that we saw such a great move on UPST, right? Let me clarify that the reason that I'm not super bearish on the ARK names is because UPST had a very similar 4 hour setup to what ARK has right now, okay? It looked like we double topped here on the 4 hour, okay? UPST sells off into the 4 hour trend line, right? And it looks like we're going to crack it, right? We were just about to crack the 4 hour trend, and then look what happened, right? High volume, buyers step in, and that preceding 4 hour candle had that really nasty wick up. So a lot of shorts got baited here, right? And this is the liquidity trap that we talk about. And, it's the core of my strategy, right? Liquidity traps on 4 hour, hourly, 15 minute time frame are my bread and butter. It's what I trade. It is my strategy, okay? And it is the setups that I look for every single day, intraday. Okay. And we had a beautiful 4-hour trap, right? Liquidity extends down, they take out stops, right? Shorts come in, they get trapped, they have to buy to cover, and you get this overextension, powerful move to the upside. We break out, new highs, go to 34, right? That is why we saw that move. That's the golden setup for me. It does not get any better. And I want to kind of preface that came from what looked like a double top on the 4-hour, right? And so I think that it's really, really, really important to kind of identify that setup and then use it, okay? The 4-hour chart was a lifesaver last week. Thanks for the heads up on using it. Eddie P, salute, brother. No problem. That's awesome. What's going on, guys? If you're just joining the stream, we're hitting new highs on viewers here. Do me a solid, guys. Please hit that like button. Like I said, if you'd like to join us for live trading inside the Discord, you can shoot me a DM on my main Twitter. I will DM you right after the stream with a invite to the Patreon. The Patreon signups are going to close tomorrow. So if you'd like to join the Discord and obviously live trade with us every single morning, and you can also watch my streams every morning, the subscriber exclusive streams every single day. I think it comes out to something like $4 a day for the monthly price, and that gets you the stream before market open, live trading, and everything else that's included. All the educational live streams and videos that we put out are all included with that. So if you'd like to join us in the chat, keep up if you can. The live chat has been absolutely insane. I can't even keep up with it anymore. It just moves so fast intraday. So you can shoot me a DM on Twitter, or if you're joining from Instagram, you can shoot me a DM on IG. What's going on, guys? Unusual whales or cheddar flow? I like both. Personally, I use cheddar flow. I think black box is honestly probably the most elite. What's going on, guys? What's going on? First time here. I see your Twitter feeds after large gains happen. Thank you so much for the free live stream tonight. Of course, yeah, man. I've been doing these live streams a bunch. I think they've been helping a ton of people. So really appreciate you guys tuning in. It makes it all worth it, right? So, but that was the 4-hour setup on UPST that we talked about, right? And a lot of people went short off that double top, right? So what I'm interested to see is ARK going to pull that same move, right? Now, we've got an absolutely loaded week coming up also. I want to preface that, right? So charts are important. These macro events, right, can sometimes supersede things. We've got CPI and FOMC back to back. That's a big deal, right? We've got JPOW after FOMC. We're going to hear, like, are we going to get that hawkish pause where we stop raising rates right now, but it's still open, right, in the future? That's kind of what's been telegraphed. That's what Fed fund futures are implying right now. Or are we going to get the 25 BPS hike? Because I think that's a massive catalyst, right? As to what that decision is. So I think that there's going to be a lot of fantastic moves after Powell and once we get through CPI. But remember, right, we've got a loaded macro calendar this week. So much of this week, right? And I'm not gonna expand as much on FOMC and CPI as I have in previous streams, right? Because it's not as big of a deal because inflation has come down so much, right? So if we look at things, right, we used to, October CPI, we were down like 4% or 3%, right, in pre-market on the Qs and 2.5% on SPY. We're not seeing that type of move anymore. On a CPI print now, we're moving, a third of 1% sometimes. It's a fractional move, right? They're just not as important. Unemployment data is arguably the most important macro signal right now, right? So I really think that's important to kind of mention, guys, is that a lot of this is going to be based on, how those macro events play out. So keep that in mind. Really, really important. What's going on? What is a liquidity trap? It's where that's a very complex question, but it's basically where stops get taken inside the market, and then you have a very one-sided setup, and the price goes the other direction. Yeah. Right, it's where you need liquidity to fuel moves higher, right? So a liquidity trap is on the basis of you trap people on the wrong side of a trade by faking out a move to one side, and then the move goes to the other direction. That hurts the most amount of people, right? That's why you get these moves. So you can deep delve into those. I go over my strategy way more in depth inside the Discord. It takes a longer time to explain. I do live examples, so that would probably be a better place to learn about liquidity traps, in my opinion. But all right, so again, that's going to be my primary watch on ARKK, right? That's going to be the big thing that I want to focus on and watch for is how do we react to that, right? And I think that's going to be very important. So very much paying attention to that 4-hour trend on ARK. That's going to be focus setup number 1 for me. Okay, so focus setup number 2. Let's talk Tesla. You guys probably saw my tweet about this earlier tonight, but the daily setup on Tesla is interesting, right? We haven't printed a daily candle like this since I believe it was February 9th, right? February 9th, yep. And then we saw a preceding move to the downside, right? Back to retest prior highs. We got a very, very powerful move on Tesla over the last week, guys. Okay, that was a massive move. I did not expect two upside pivots to get taken out like that, right? 235 and 250 targets were both hit. We hit 252, right, on Friday. That's an incredible move. Those options went absolutely insane. I think the 250 calls were 8 cents at one point on Friday, and they hit intraday highs, I think, of like $4 or $5, guys. That's I mean, you're talking crazy percents, right? 10,000% plus, right? Or close to it, right? So really, really incredible move. Coin, I know you liked Mans, I know you like coin in the 40s, but now do you stand with the SEC lawsuit? I tweeted about coin a while ago, and I had to trim a really good portion of my position because of the regulatory risks, and I tweeted that back in March. So if you want to go check that tweet, you can. But like I said, it just started to outweigh the risk reward. So I have a small core position left, and I'm leaving it. So, but other than that, I don't really look at it. So, and it trades like poop now. So coin's off the menu in terms of trading for me. I don't trade coin anymore. All right, so let's talk about, like I said, Tesla. Primarily, the bigger focus for me here is going to be a pullback into 235. Okay, that's going to be the primary focus this week for me. Why? Well, you have to think about personality. We've got the daily uptrend here. I think Tesla's going to offer a fantastic opportunity on the long side between 235 and 231.50. Okay, these are the spots that I'm going to be watching for potential bounce trade, right? Back towards highs. We saw higher volume sell on Friday. Here's the thing. We already faded $8 off highs from Friday. The biggest thing that I am really looking at now on Tesla is I think it needs to cool off, come down, retest, and then continue, right? That would be the healthiest amount of action. I think that there's caution here for people that are like, well, Tesla's overbought. Okay, well, NVIDIA's been overbought for 6 months, right? NVIDIA ripped every single short to absolute threads for 6 months. I don't know why people are trying to come in here and be like, oh, I'm, full port short Tesla, all this stuff. I don't know. It just seems silly to me, right? You just saw what happened with NVIDIA, right? That was the prior evidence example of it can stay, the markets can stay quote unquote irrational longer than you can stay solvent. NVIDIA ripped shorts to shreds, right? And every dip got bought. That was just the perfect example of a healthy uptrend. Sideways, go up, right? I mean, look at that, guys. Look at the weekly on NVIDIA. I mean, it's just insane, right? I mean, insane, right? So think about that the next time that you're like, well, RSI is 91. Yeah, Tesla probably needs to cool off, but this is just the wider time frames. When in doubt, zoom out, right? That is such a key for me. It's one of the first things I ever learned, and it's something that I still use to this day. This looks fantastic on higher time frames, in my opinion, right? And I personally, okay, and this is, up for debate, I personally don't like to short relative strength. It's just not my thing. It is just not my thing. I would rather short relative weakness than short relative strength. Why do I want to short the strongest stock on the market? I don't. I have no interest in that. That means there's going to be dip buyers waiting at every level, right? Which is just going to make the short trade choppy and harder for me. Why do I want to make my life harder, right? Because that's really the question that you've got to ask yourself, okay? And that's why I like shorting relative weakness. I have no problem with shorting. I love shorting. But personally, I'm just not going to short what's been the strongest stock on the market. I just have zero interest. It's also a stock that's still, 40% off its highs, right? Maybe I'm crazy. But does that make sense? You guys can let me know in the live chat. If you like shorting the strongest stock on the market, go ahead. But it's just not my thing. Just not my thing. Right? So, again, and so, while you may say, well, Mans, you're talking about a $10 move down. Yeah, I do think there's the potential for a pullback on Tesla, $10 maybe. Maybe it fades 20, right? I mean, this was a huge resistance at 220, right? 218. We talked about that pivot. Okay, and so if we retest 218, that's a plus, like I'm buying dated calls type of deal, in my opinion. That's going to be my game plan more than likely, unless it's some crazy, news event. But I think 218 was a massive breakout spot. I personally just don't know if we're going to retest it, given the volume that we saw on the weekly, right? There's no problem with this weekly candle. I just think with the daily candle that we've got a decent chance to pull back. So personally, again, it's just my plan. I'm going to be looking to buy, if we get down to 231, that's, A+ risk to reward for me. I think that 235 sees buyers come in. It kind of has confluence with that little bit of a daily uptrend that we've been building, which I have on the screen right now. And so that's where my focus is going to be, personally. Guys, we're almost at 100 likes already. Hit that like button for me. It takes 2 seconds to hit the like button. We're almost at 100 likes already. We're trying to hit the all-time high is 200. Come on. We're also 100 subscribers away from 14,000, guys. Like, how cool would that be if we could hit that tonight? How cool would that be? That'd be really sick. 100 away from 13,000 or 14,000, excuse me, which would be so sick, guys. We've been really, really consistent with the lives. We're going to try to bring you guys even better content coming. So please, let's hit that like. There we go. Bang. 111 likes. Boom. 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 Let me feel the vibe. I can't play music, which also sucks on YouTube, or I'm going to get copyrighted and I'll get tossed off the platform. But, right? So I would love to be playing some music right now and get the vibes really pushing. But I really appreciate everyone hitting that like button, guys. It is 119 likes already. That is so sick. 200 is the record. So if you enjoy the content, if you enjoy the streams, slam that like button. If you want to support the streams even further, you want to watch the intraday streams that I do and the pre-market streams that are subscriber only, you can shoot me a DM on Twitter. I will send you a Patreon or Discord invite, and you can come join the Discord. So it's a lot of fun in there. I think a lot of people in the chat would also vouch for that. So yeah, of course, you can use my beats anytime. Love your analysis, Eli. I really appreciate that, man. Mid-Coast Traders, I appreciate that a ton. I agree that Tesla has room from 257 to 313. However, I think that it needs to pull back and cool down before that type of move. We just ran super hard, guys. I would love to see Tesla come into this trend line on the daily. If you're taking notes or you're on the charts with me, I'm on the Tesla daily chart right now. I'm personally going to be looking at pullbacks to add calls in the 231 to 235 range. Yes, I personally think there's $7 to $8 of downside here, but personally, once again, personal opinion, you should have your own. I just personally don't want to try to short that move because I don't want to be in a stock where everybody's trying to buy every single dip because that makes my life harder. So again, how many trades a week do I take? Great question. Less than you probably think. I have been currently averaging, on average, even with how hot the market's been, 2.5 trades a day has been my average right now. And I love it. I love it. I used to be a 7 or 8 trades kind of guy. It's for the birds, in my opinion. I have no interest in trading that much, personally. Why? I personally think every trade you put on is risk, right? If you're really, we talk about this all the time. Okay, that is literally, you guys probably have already seen it. I changed the YouTube logo. A+ options is coming soon, sooner than you think. And A+ setups is the mantra, and it is the thing that has transformed my trading the most. There's not 7 A+ setups for me every single day, more than likely. Okay, unless there's an outlier event type happening, there's not going to be 7 A+ setups, which means I'm taking non-A+ setups. That's fine. Everybody takes a lotto once in a while. I'm going to take a lotto once in a while. Yeah, and just like Carvana, right? Carvana on Thursday was a lotto. Still an A+ setup, but a lotto just is sizing, right? And that's fine. It was a higher risk trade, but it printed, 600%, right? Those Carvana 22 calls, I bought the flush on Friday that we got mid-morning, and the cons ran 600%, guys. I think it was $500 of risk, and I think it turned into over $2,300. It was one of my biggest trades of the week off $500 of risk, right? So it was this candle right here, if you're wondering, right here. Boom, right? Beautiful liquidity trap on the 15-minute. Added the absolute shit out of that at 1850. Ended up ripping, right? The contracts went 160% in one candle on Carvana. If and they can vouch for me. If you're in the room, you know that the 1145 candle on Thursday. I think the contract. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. If you're in the room, but I think the 22 calls went 130% in a 5-minute candle, right? From at 1145, I think it was. I think so. That's again, I am not going to. I'm going to take those smaller risk trades because I've talked about it. But the whole point is that the amount of trades, right, is should be about how many A+ setups there are. So I really think that, it's about really being picky. I think that's the biggest thing, guys. You got to act like you're at a restaurant and, you're the pickiest eater at the table, right? And you only want to eat the best setups, okay? Right? Or if you're hanging out with a group of people and you only want to hang out with the people that treat you the best in return, you only want to hang out with the stocks that behave, okay? So like 2.5 trades, but that's the long answer, right? But sometimes more, sometimes less. Sometimes it was 1 trade a day for me last Monday, and then I don't know what day it was. I think it was Thursday. I think I took 5 trades, right? So it's just on average 2.5 to 3 is the answer. Yeah, everybody vouching. If you're in the room and you caught that Carvana move, just maybe toss me a W. W. Because that was a huge W, and like I said, that's why I am personally. I am an advocate of smaller size trades for really high upside, because that's what options, in my opinion, were designed. Like, you look at what options were designed to do. They're to risk small amounts of capital to get really, really big dubs, right? Or, to protect a position, right? If you look at, if you have a really, really large commons position and you want to hedge it, you buy puts for, a year out, right? And you can risk 1/10 of the capital and have great downside exposure, right? And so that's what the instrument itself was designed to do, and I try to respect that as much as possible. That's why I'm not a huge advocate of crazy size on really short-term expiration options. W means win. And so, like I said, guys, that's my thought process on how many trades I take a day, why, and also like A+ setups and sizing related to them. Do you stick around on charts all on the longer if no trade has come in the morning? Yes, it just depends. I wait for the trade to come to me more often than not. So, that was a great move, and it's a great example of risking small size for really big gains, right? I think it was, again, 500 of risk on the 22 calls. I think I paid 52 cents per contract for them, and they ran to whatever, $5 the next day. It was so insane. 1,000% from entry. All right. And like I said, if you guys do want to join the Discord, I'm only going to say this once. Sign-ups close tomorrow. If you want a spot, you can DM me on Twitter, and I will send it to you. All right, so let's get back into the charts. So we covered Tesla. We covered IWM, ARK. One other setup I am going to be looking at this week is going to be on Netflix. Personally, I love the daily chart here. I'm not going to talk about this one too much. I went over it in the subscriber exclusive stream a lot. I personally really like this in terms of an upside setup. I know I'm covering primarily upside setups here, guys, but we are in a bull market tape, at least according to the charts. I'm not going to get into that conversation too much, but, I've been trading 99.9% upside setups for right now. So it's just how it's been. Chat, has he gone over his thoughts going into week with CPI, FOMC, etc.? Yeah, my thoughts about this week, given how heavy it is from a macro perspective, are to be as selective as possible, and my size automatically comes down into this week, right? I did a thread about it, but on the $35,000 account that I trade for the room, say just for easy numbers, right? My size is really 7 to 8%, but just let's say it's 10, right? So say a full size position for me, and this is again my own personal sizing. So you should figure out whatever you need to do for your brain. But say, $3,500 position size is standard for me. This week I'm probably going to be at like maybe 2,000 or 1,500, right? Half of what it was, because last week was such an outlier week in terms of moves, in terms of P&L, right? On those great weeks, I always size down the following week. Everyone's got opinions on that. I get it's controversial, but that's just my game plan. I like to really preserve capital after weeks like that and be, do I trade FOMC meeting days? Yeah, I usually trade after. Like last time was the KRE push trade, which was insane. I actually have a great track record on FOMC days, bad track record on actually CPI and FOMC days have been kind to me, right? Personally, that's just, for whatever reason, those days have been really kind to me. My strategy works well on those days. We tend to get a lot of traps. However, I will say that FOMC, outside of the last meeting, the prior 3 were like super mid in terms of price action, where it was just like BS moves between high of the day and low of the day and never really got good substantial price action. So I've been much more cautious about trading FOMC days after, the last one, like I said, I traded the KRE puts, but other than that, I've been very cautious about the setups that I'm willing to take. But Netflix is one that I'm going to be watching this week. Obviously, they had that subscriber, right? If you haven't noticed it yet, Netflix is making you pay $7 more every month, so you can add people to your account. I think that's probably a really good deal for Netflix. We just hit 300 live viewers, 590 viewers in total. We're about to break 1K here pretty soon. Really appreciate everybody that's tuning in, guys. Got about 15 minutes left on the stream. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on the stream. If you have not hit that like button yet, we are trying to break a new record on the stream. So if you have not already, make sure you guys hit that like button. 200 is the prior record. We're trying to hit 14,000 subscribers as well. We are at 13,900 right now. So it takes literally 1.5 seconds to hit that sub button. I don't know if you guys can see that, but 13.9K. So really appreciate everybody that is in. So like I said, Netflix is really interesting to me. It tends to like these, breakout and consolidate candles. So again, I'm going to be looking at Netflix. Again, the hourly is my focus here. Again, the add area for me is between 417, 418 zone is really where I'm going to be looking at longs. Personally, I like the news here. It was strong Friday. And Netflix is just, it's usually a good trader these FOMC CPI weeks. It's going to depend on how the XLC is trading, obviously, the communications ETF, right? But I really think that this has a pretty nice setup on the daily, and the weekly looks fantastic here as well. One thing I am going to be watching for a little bit longer term on Netflix. Also, people forget I kind of called the Netflix bottom on Main last year at 174. Or I was, I guess, $10 shy. Not toot my own horn. I've had a lot of good and bad calls, but I think this has room probably towards that earnings gap fill down, right? I think 462 not an unreasonable target. That's going to be a huge level for Netflix over the next few months, because that was just such a big area of support, right? From 462 up to 475, huge area of support. So in the broader term, again, I'm not talking about weeklies here. I'm talking about over the next couple of months, few weeks. 462, 470 is an interesting zone on Netflix, right? There's definitely some resistance here at 423 too, but if it breaks that, I wouldn't be surprised to see a pretty solid move over the next few weeks to months, right? So definitely something I'm going to be watching. Appreciate you subscribing, man. Really appreciate that. Hit 150 likes. That's so sick. Really appreciate everybody that's tuned in. So Netflix, a long watch for me. Like I said, on the hourly, guys, pretty clean setup. See if it holds these prior highs, 416, 415 on the hourly. If so, then I get very interested on the long side on a hold to 415. Definitely of interest for me. Again, another beautiful example of that staircase pattern, right? Sideways, up, sideways, up. We'll see if we get that move, right? Okay, so Netflix. So a couple others. Let's talk about UPST, because what a trader this was last week. If you were in the stream last week, we talked about the 4-hour trend line. Let's talk about it again, because it's just been so nice from a trading perspective. Who could tell me where I'm going to get interested in UPST on the long side again? Somebody tell me based on the 4-hour trend. We'll do another little quiz in here. Anybody in the live chat want to let me know? Ooh, Yanks Red Sox 2-2 bottom 9. Jeez, it's gonna be an interesting finish. If you don't like the glasses, I'm sorry. I think it's a cool little vibe once in a while. And no, don't take it too serious. Anybody want to tell me where I'm looking? How do you guys like the quizzes on stream? I think they're kind of fire. I think it tests everyone's knowledge. Make sure you guys are paying attention. 30, 31, 40. Yeah, these are good answers, guys. So what I'm going to be watching on UPST is definitely going to be into this between 31, right, which was low of the day on Friday, was 31.15. Okay, so between that spot, I thought it was really impressive how strong this was against, Carvana being down so much on the day. So what I'm going to be watching this, and I only wear the glasses when I talk about Upstart, but is between that 31.19, 31.20 zone and then into 30.90, right? I think is going to be a really kind of confluence point if we look at trend, right? So again, for me personally, against 30, I think this looks fantastic. We could set up another liquidity trap against that level. Keep in mind, I do think the Fed meeting, whether we pause or keep hiking, will have an effect because this is a AI loan service company. So again, do your own research in terms of what that's going to be implication-wise, right? But lower rates are better for Upstart. Rate cuts in the near future are better for Upstart. So please keep that in mind, guys. And so, like I said, from a technical aspect on the 4-hour, that's where I get really interested again, right? And again, I've played this trend line probably every single time it is hit, if not, 5 out of the 6. So this has been a beautiful spot. And, as long as it keeps working, we talk about this all the time, right? Stocks are like people. Stocks are absolutely like people, guys. They are like your friends. And when you hang out with your friends, they're nice to you, right? You give them a ride somewhere. They, lobby the Venmo for some gas money, right? You got good friends, right? When your friend's nice to you, you're going to keep hanging out with that person, right? Or you're going to keep taking that girl on a date or that, whatever, right? Stocks are like people. Their personalities emerge, right? And when people are consistent, they're nice to you, they hold trend, they get in favor, right? Because it's the psychology aspect, right? If trendline buyers keep getting rewarded at that 4-hour trend line, it's going to continue to happen, right? And that's how you get cleanup trend starting, guys, when stocks behave well, right? Behavior is such an important thing. And I feel like it's not talked about enough, but how stocks behave, I think, is honestly one of the most crucial components to how stocks trade, right? And so behavior, good behavior, is buyers stepping in at that trend line, right? And it being consistent, because that's what people want to look for, right? Repeatable trends. So important of a concept, guys. Trend is your friend. Have I talked about Roku? No, I don't trade Roku, nor do I really like how it trades. So do you backtest, or have you backtested your strategy before? Dude, I backtested the 15-minute trap endlessly, right? And I go over all, I not only backtest it in front of the room, but I also go over it live, right? And it's very, like I said, you got to see it for yourself. But yeah, in that zone, 30, 33, around that spot. Victor, what's going on, man? Midcoast Traders, what's going on? I personally think that UPST is probably going to retest, but before the meeting. Why do you use the hollow candle? Personal preference, once again, guys, honestly. Professor Mans, yep. That's what the quizzes are about. That's why we wear the glasses, right? So yeah, so a good point, guys, is, and I talk about this all the time, but failed breakdowns are my favorite longs and failed breakouts are my favorite shorts, right? So guys, almost 700 viewers. Thank you again. If you haven't hit that like button, please do so. Last setup I'm going to cover. Unity Weekly I'm going to mention. Really nice base starting to form here at 34. Obviously, the Apple news, guys, this is one of the craziest trades I've had this year, was being in for the Apple news. Absolutely incredible. I wish I had held my calls. I had commons for this move. Was insane. Really, really goated move. Keep an eye on the weekly chart there on Unity. Looks fantastic, right? So definitely a focus for me if we stay strong. Highest weekly volume ever since IPO on Unity. So really need to keep that on watch. Lot of room towards 43 if it decides to go. Stronger name on Friday, held up really, really well. I'd personally look for that 35.8 level to kind of base and hold. But definitely a level of interest for me. And the last one I'm going to talk about, last focus that I'm going to go over is Google. This is an interesting setup, guys. This one has had a lot of relative weakness since the QQQ gap down the other day. As you can see, right? We've kind of got this kind of bear flag look almost, right? Where we're consolidating down here at this 121 zone. Personally, I think that we do have the potential to break down here. However, I want to emphasize that there's personally just not enough meat on this bone for me to be looking on the short side personally yet. I think that we're going to see a lot of buyers step in at 119, 120 because of how big of a breakout spot that was. We'll see, right? I'm not going to have a good or really, really high confident feel about that until I see how the tape reacts to 119. But again, I think that's going to be a really, really big spot on that level on Google. So really going to be keeping a close eye on that. This is just a two-way setup for me personally. I'm really not going to be looking to short it much though. Again, just with how strong the tape has been, right? We've been rallying off of these indecision candles. So I feel like the 15 minute has been any better than the 30 lately. Yeah, I like the 15 minute a lot. I agree. I think Unity does have more. Do you have a video on reading the tape? Yep, inside the Discord. If you're in there, there's a full video on reading the tape. If not, I do not have one on YouTube yet because it's the tape is such a live thing, right? It has to be when the market's open. Like it would be hard for me to sit here and explain to you reading the tape outside of like a very base knowledge perspective, unless it's intraday. And so that's what I do a lot of it in the chat, right? In our Discord chat is I'll kind of throw in examples of level 2 and time and sales and really try to illustrate what I'm looking at, right? And it's so much easier live to explain what I'm seeing than try to, do it when the market isn't open. So, again, Google, that is the spot I'm looking at going into this week. So that was a lot of fun, guys. This is such a week where I can't emphasize it enough, but I'm really focusing on being patient, letting setups come to me, and not being overly aggressive after an insane week last week, right? UPST was a huge W. If you tuned into the stream last week, that is my goal, is to put out, actionable thoughts that I really, again, I'm going to be looking at intraday and during the week, right? Is to just kind of put my brain out here and show you guys what I'm looking at and why, and hopefully it makes sense to you, and hopefully it helps you in your process. That's the goal, right? What do you look for at screens and scans? 2 cents on Carvana next week. I don't know. Carvana's the candle's weird. I feel like it needs to go sideways for a little bit now, honestly, right? That's not a great candle. When it's kind of like you got the same move up and then you got an equally crazy move to the downside. This was a 30 or 23% down day, right? After a 20, or a 56% up day technically, because it went 30% pre-market, but 25% intraday. So I don't know. I haven't been trading AI as much. I think the chips and some of the AI names need to consolidate a bit more, right? It's just I think this is sideways action now, honestly, for a little bit, right? My focus is just elsewhere. Top focus for me tomorrow is going to be on Netflix, like I mentioned. That's going to be the top focus for me, definitely going into tomorrow. But again, my main focus is just going to be patience this week, guys. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. If you do not mind, hit that like button on your way out, guys. Am I playing Adobe for earnings? Oh, I'm going to look at it, honestly. That's an interesting one, but I already kind of took my one earnings lotto for the year. So I think Adobe's got a really interesting potential on earnings because of how much AI technology they're going to be implementing, but definitely one that I'm going to keep on watch. That's a good mention right there. So we will see. But again, I really appreciate everybody that tuned in, guys. Maybe one more public stream if we get enough love on this one. If we can break 200 likes, maybe we'll do another public stream this week. So if you haven't slammed the like button yet, I don't know what you're doing. But if you guys can get it over 200, then we will definitely do another. Wow, Red Sox is taking the lead here. If you guys can get it over 200, then we will do another live stream this week. So. All right, well, I appreciate everybody tuning in, guys. Almost 10 o'clock. I know an hour has gone by already. Insane. But don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the stream if you enjoyed it. If you'd like to see more of these, keep on tuning in. It means the world to me. Really appreciate you guys coming out tonight. Enjoy your Sunday. Good luck this week. A+ only. Peace.